one of the things that stinks about the season coming to an end, and there's a lot, but one of the things that really stinks about it is that the only thing that's fun in college athletics anymore are the games. Nothing else about it is fun. Because, Adam, right now, I could go through the top, and this is, don't read anything more into what I'm saying other than what I'm saying. Top 8 guys on Carolina's roster. Can I 100% tell you right now that I 100% know and believe they'll be on the roster next year? Nope, not one of them. And that's not something negative about any one of them, and it's not something negative about Carolina. It's just what it is now. I mean, we know Bacon and Ryan are out of eligibility. Don't know what R.J. Davis is going to do with his extra COVID year. Don't know what Harrison Ingram's going to do. We know he sat here and told us he had strong professional aspirations. Don't know what. Then you get Elliot Cadeau, Seth Trimble, Jalen Washington, Jalen Withers, and who am I missing, Adam? Is that it? Did I get everybody? I think that's everybody. Who all have a decision to make. Do they want to go pro? Do they want to go in the portal? Do they want to stay? They now have this decision that every person in college athletics has of what is best for them now in the immediate future. And so you can only hang on and wait and see, because that's the only course of action. Hubert Davis started player meetings on Monday. He was going to, Monday and Tuesday, have meetings. I don't know if it was with every single player. I'm sure that's the goal. I mean, he'll eventually talk to every single player. I don't know if all of that was occurring on Monday and Tuesday, and begin those discussions. And, Adam, it is an unclear future, just like it is for every single team in college basketball.
Yeah, and we saw it. I mean, on the plane on the way home, the coaches were already working on next season in a variety of different ways. And the days are just over where this year's team has any sort of bearing on next year's team. This year's team is its own independent animal, and that's now done. Now it's time to start thinking about next year's team, which is a completely independent thing that has no relationship to this year's team whatsoever. And I think if you don't think about it that way, you're making a mistake, because there are no guarantees at all. You're dealing with college-age people, and just as importantly, if not more than importantly, you're dealing with college-age people's parents who are just it's incredible. It really is. So I think Hubert Davis probably had in his mind how some of those individual meetings might go, but you never actually know, as we saw last year, until you sit down. Mm-hmm. Exactly what direction are those going to take? Now, I do think that one other thing that we learned that it would be wise to keep in mind is that I remember around this time last year, there was a lot of freak out because players were leaving. That's probably going to happen this year, and no offense to those guys, but look at where they went and how those teams did. And we like all those guys, but they didn't have quite the year that Carolina did. And so sometimes it's just better to go somewhere else. And that's okay. That's college athletics in the year 2024. The Tar Heels are going to bring some others in. And I do think they learned some valuable things this year about what they're looking for, not just in terms of who can put it in the basket, but also what else can they provide. Because I think that Cormac Ryan thing you mentioned in the press conference, that's an iconic Carolina teammate moment, in my opinion. For him to have the courage to step up and do that in a moment where everyone, including us, is mostly busy feeling sorry for themselves, for him to do that for someone else, that's the guy you're looking for. You can't always identify that in the portal because you have like a day and a half to decide if you like them or not, and they're all going to say they're that way. But that's the guy you're looking for, and it helps also if they can make three-pointers.
I thought maybe there'll be a GA position for Cormac Ryan one day whenever he's done playing basketball. I really do think, Adam, and I know we've talked, I guess that can take us to this final point. I think it's always sad, for lack of a better term, when the season comes to a close. Because whether you're Adam and me, who's covering the team, whether you're a fan who's there every single night rooting on the team, and you're listening to the podcast and watching the games and reading the articles and all the different stuff, you invest in it. Remember, Roy Williams say this all the time, that it should hurt when it was over because that meant you did invest something into it. And you're investing 5-6 months out of the year. It's a big investment for everybody. Monetarily, time, passion, all of it. So it should be disappointing. But Adam, I do think this particular team was it connected more with Carolina fans than others because of a guy like Cormac Ryan or a Harrison Ingram or RJ Day. I mean, all the things that we know and that we've talked about throughout the season. This was a team that people really enjoyed. They enjoyed the way they played. They enjoyed the way that I think they bounced back. They enjoyed the way that they represented Carolina. They won huge games. Eventually, it will be seen as what a great year. That's still hard to see in the immediate aftermath because everybody's so disappointed that it's over. But this was a really fun group that accomplished a lot of fun things, and it comes down to one thing. Only one team can win, and it's hard to win. And UConn's been up by 30 points or more in every game they've played, which is stunning to me. It's hard to win this tournament. And so it was a really, really fun year with a great group, and you hope that eventually that comes back into the forefront, not the, boy, why'd they take that three? Boy, what a bad shooting night. Why couldn't they guard that guy? That kind of stuff.
I think one of the hard things about Carolina is that you're expected to not only win, but win a certain way, like while playing, quote, Carolina basketball. And this year's team not only won, I think they played in a way that people recognized and said, Carolina basketball, yes, this is what I like to watch. This is what is fun. And I think that's why it was so painful when it was over.
Adam, do you have any other soothing words of wisdom or thoughts on the Tar Heels?
No.
Adam surprised himself that he didn't have anything else to say.